I mean, what do you think that the actual chances of Jayden not being week one starter are?
That's why
Yeah.
Marcus Mariota is wearing the number 0, because that's how many games we're going to see him start this year. 0. Pop, what's going on, man?
Hey, son. How are you?
So, doing good, guys. Before we get into it, I just want to remind you really quick, we are doing a subscriber giveaway. We're giving away a Jayden Daniels jersey after we get 500 subscribers. So listen closely here. To enter, you do need to subscribe, yes. And if you're already a subscriber, you're still eligible. Just send us an email at domandpopgiveaway1@gmail.com. We need your name, your address, and your shirt size. Instructions are also going to be included in the pinned comment. So if listening's not your thing, you're more into reading, it'll be down there as well. So guys, don't forget to do that, please. That's how you got to enter.
Yeah, we added a bunch of subscribers this week, so thank you very much. It feels like people are excited about the contest, but we're lacking a bit on the emails. So just remember, in order to enter, we really need you to send us that email so we have your info. And the faster we can get to 500 subs, faster we're going to give away that jersey. So tell your friends. Let's get this thing really rolling. Appreciate all the extra subs this past week. We're getting closer and closer to that goal. We have set a deadline of the season opener, but I got a feeling we're going to smash that.
Yep. And Pop, I'm not a math guy here, but help me break this down so I understand correctly. If you enter this giveaway, there will be more giveaways in the future, but this giveaway, you got the best odds of getting the jersey, because this
That's
giveaway
true.
is going to have the least amount of entrants out of all the
That's
future
true.
giveaways. So just remember that, guys, when you're wondering, do I sign up? Do I not? We're not going to spam you. Don't worry about that. But join, and you might fall into some good content along the way. You subscribe to the channel, see some good stuff.
I'm going to
Probably
call
going to
the
like
show
it.
Einstein and Pop soon.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, if you're in the market for a free Jayden Daniels jersey, I got a feeling you're going to like what we got going on around here. So stick around. Without further ado, Pop, let's not bury the lead here. We got to get into the schedule prediction, right?
We're going to get in the schedule position. Just to be clear, we're raffling off one jersey. In the future, we'll sweeten the pot, but one jersey to a lucky winner, and it'll be an honest raffle. So get your name in there.
There you go. There you go. Thanks for clearing that up, Pop. And without further ado, schedule prediction. What do you say?
Absolutely. Let's do
What
it.
do you say? Let's get into it. So we got 9 home games, 2 primetime games, and we have the least travel miles in the entire NFL. And damn it, if we don't have another, I think it's week 13 or week 14 bye week.
I think it's week
What's going on
14.
with that, Pop? What's going on with that?
Every year. I don't know why. Week
Some
14.
junk. Yeah, another
Yeah.
week 14 bye week. I just verified that here. That is some junk.
But you don't trust my outline number?
No, I don't. Frankly, there's been enough slip ups in the past, man.
Okay, Ron Burgundy.
I gotta say. Well, Dave, stick to the outline, and then I stick to the outline, and then the outline's wrong, and then I'm Ron Burgundy.
All right, you
Anyways,
can do the outline next week.
let's dig into this thing. Pop wants to make sure we don't start reading the schedule off until we're 20 minutes into the podcast. I'm trying to get this thing moving here. Let's get into it, man. It's what the people want to see. So we got
Sassy tonight.
preseason games. I don't really want to cover the preseason games. We have the Jets, Dolphins, Patriots, all AFC East preseason. Not a lot of travel there. Pop, do you have any general overview or vibes on the schedule? How you feeling on this whole thing before we get into the win-loss, the
Feel pretty
nitty-gritty?
good about it. It's. I think the hardest thing about doing these predictions, and I didn't spend a ton of time prepping because I wanted to do it fresh. Here, I haven't really gone through it, but just getting a vibe on the Commanders, right? What do we got? You
Yeah.
feel really good about a lot of the roster additions, but until we really see them out there and see these coaches in action, coaching these guys up, seeing what Jayden Daniels can bring in year one, hoping it's Jayden Daniels starting. We'll get into that a little bit later. That's the hardest thing for me. I think feel like we got a pretty good read on the competition. So we'll see. I will remind you, son, proceed with caution. Speed bump. You did predict us to go 11-6 when we did this time last year. So
Yeah, what'd
just
you have,
proceed
10 and
with
7?
caution. I don't know. You were a little juiced that day. Pump those brakes a little bit, or go for it. Another 11-6, maybe 12-5 this time.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I mean, I think you had them at 10 and 7, so I don't think it's all that big of a difference. But it's yeah, I
We were
mean,
buying into EB.
we were buying into EB, we were buying into Sam Howell. Hindsight is 2020. It was a
50-50.
tough situation last year. Um,
Let's roll.
what are you gonna do? Let's roll. So, week 1, the moment you're all been waiting for, September 9th or September 8th, excuse me, at 4:25 p.m. We are on the road, starting off at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Raymond James Stadium. What do you like here, Pop? How's your feeling on week 1? This is a tough test.
I think it's a tough matchup going on the road. That heat potentially, although we'll probably be used to the heat by that point because it's not like it's not incredibly warm here that time of year, warm and humid. But playoff team, good defense. Baker Mayfield's solid as a quarterback. I think it's going to be a tough test. I do think it's going to be a really good game. In other words, really competitive. I think this one's going to be close, going to go down to the wire. But I'm going to chalk us up for an L here. I just feel like it's a lot to ask with a rookie quarterback to head down there and get that win in week 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I got a loss there as well. I just think it comes down to, for me, more than the rookie quarterback, it comes down to the defense is my biggest concern. And I think you look at what some of the biggest concerns are on the defense is the secondary. And I think it's going to take a little bit of time for us to figure out. I have no doubt that Dan Quinn and Joe Jr. will figure it out, but I think naturally there's going to be a little bit of trial and error with who are our starting corners on the outside, who are our starting guys in the slot, who's going to play safety. We have a lot of position flex and a lot of guys that can play in a lot of different places there on the secondary, and we're matching up right away against two great veteran wide receivers in Chris Godwin and Mike Evans that just seems like every year they're two of the best in the league. So that's my biggest concern with that matchup. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down as a loss as well, just because I feel like it's not, the defense is just not going to be there yet. Yeah, I mean, this is a 4 and
Sounds
13
good.
defense
Good
last year.
points.
So let's move on. Week 2, home opener, Commanders Field, no longer FedEx Field, Commanders Field, 1 o'clock Eastern Time, starting off against the New York Giants at home. What do you have here, Pop, for week 2?
Well, I mean, they swept us last year, but so did everybody else in the NFC East. I feel like our coaching is going to be the difference this year. I feel good
Yeah,
about our roster against theirs, especially with the upgrades we made. I still think the Giants are on a little bit of shaky ground. Danny Dimes, if he even gets the starting job there, there's some rumblings about that
a little bit
there.
of Drew Lock
Lost
buzz, huh?
Saquon. I think anytime you play the Giants, it's a little bit scary. But first home game of the year, I think that the place is going to be lit. I think the players are going to be fired up. I got us down for a W.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a W as well there. I just think this is kind of the opportunity for us to take that next step and just say, "Hey man, it's you know, we're here. This is our chance to assert ourselves." Reminds me a little bit 2 years ago. We played the Giants in week 2 on Thursday night. You remember that little debacle there? There was the false start on the missed field goal. We got to do it again, or the encroachment on the missed field goal. We got to do it again, and then we hit the field goal and we got the win. Taylor Heineke
I
was
haven't
lighting
played
it
anything
up.
like
That might have
that.
been the best game of his career. Um, got week 3, Cincinnati Bengals, Monday night, 8:15. Prime time game, man. This is a big one here. What do you got? We're at the Bengals. We're on the road here going to see Joe Burrow. How do you feel about this one?
Yeah, if Joe Burrow's on the field, I just don't feel good about it, to be honest. I think it's tough
Yeah,
going out there. Really good team, really great quarterback. Got that LSU Tigers matchup with him and Jayden Daniels.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to go Bengals with this one.
Yeah, I'm going Bengals as well. I think the only way we win this one is if Jayden Daniels just comes out of a cannon and it's just like lightning in a bottle to start the season. Yeah, I think you put it perfectly. I just don't think, even if Joe Burrow is not 100%, I don't think we can handle 85% Joe Burrow, frankly. So week 4, we got the Cardinals at their stadium. So we're on the road again here in Arizona, 4:05 game. What do you like here, Pop?
Yeah, first 3 or 4 on the road. We didn't highlight
It's
that
tough,
in
tough
the
stretch.
preview, but yeah, it's a tough stretch. I think we're a better team than the Cardinals. It's
Agreed.
interesting. It's kind of one of the first, revenge game with Cliff Kingsbury going back out to
Yeah, it's a big
Arizona.
one.
You got to assume here that Jayden Daniels is getting off to a strong start and playing well in year one for us to get a win. I think on the road here. I think the Cardinals are a team that's in a bit of transition still. Kyler Murray's been in and out of the lineup. So not easy to make that cross country trip, but I feel a win on this one.
Yeah, I got to win here. I disagree. I don't think we need Jaden Daniels to be, going crazy in order to beat the Cardinals. I just don't think they're that good. I think they're in a little bit of confusion. The ownership situation there is terrible. I just think it's not really a great team, and I think these are the kind of wins that
He's
you'll
not
start
going
to
crazy, but he's got to play well.
decent.
Well
Yeah,
isn't
decent.
crazy, right? But well, I'm
I
not saying
think
he's got to put the team on his back, right? But he's got to do his job
I'll put it
well,
on pace is what
right?
I'm going to say. We need him
Right,
on pace for what we would expect a success by week 5.
right.
Or week 4, excuse me. Week 5, got another one at home, Cleveland Browns. This is another team that you don't know what they're going to be. I mean, Nick Chubb coming off a really nasty injury, Deshaun Watson kind of been up and down. You don't really know what's going on with him. Their defense, obviously, Miles Garrett, generational talent, one of the best to ever play the position. Secondary strong too. What do you like here, Pop? This is hard for me to make a choice.
It's a tough one too. It's a home game, but again, you're doing that cross country trip.
Yeah,
And by the way, that Cardinals game is on a short week going cross country, so that's a little scary there.
yeah,
But I think just to kind of keep things balanced and measured here, I don't know. I'm just going gut, but I feel like the Browns are going to edge us out in another really tough competitive game. But this one could go either way. But I'm going to lean Browns on this one.
yeah. I'm gonna take a win. I'm gonna take a win here. I just don't think we say we don't know what Deshaun Watson is. I think I'm pretty comfortable in knowing what Deshaun Watson is, and that's terrible. And I think it's over for him. But I think this is going to be too early in the season for them to give up on him. And I think we're going to be able to capitalize. And I also just wonder, Nick Chubb, not rooting against the guy, love the player, love the person. Nick Chubb, how many running backs with his running style at his age are able to come back from that nature of the
That's fair.
injury? I just, and what does that offense look like without Nick Chubb and without Joe Flacco just, in flow state out of nowhere? I think this team kind of comes back down to earth and isn't all that great. We got another AFC North matchup here, week 6. This one's a very short trip. Do they stay in the hotels for this one? You got to
Yeah, I
wonder.
think so. I think they might even stay in a hotel when they play at FedEx. I'm not 100% certain about that, but I kind of think they might. I don't know.
I don't know.
Could be
I don't
wrong
know,
about
but
that. Check.
yeah,
Might have to edit
I
that
don't.
out.
I don't know. I'm not editing that. I'll tell you that much. But
Let us
we
know in
got
the comments if you
there
know.
you go.
I'm
There you
happy
go.
to be wrong.
Let us know in the
I
comments.
think they would
Take a look at
for
the
a
pinned
Ravens
comment,
game.
enter the giveaway, and then let us know in the
That's
comments.
it.
Anyways, week 6 at the Baltimore Ravens. I think we both got a win here. We were talking about should we go to the game, but I I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to be there for what's gonna happen there.
But
You
how
have to be.
sweet would a win be?
Oh, I mean, a win would
How
be
sweet would a
sweet.
win be? And we start talking. We start needling the insider. Is Jayden Daniels better than Lamar already at this point in his
Already?
career?
Already? A win would be sweet. A win would be sweet, but tell you what, thanks to Steve Jobs, I'm going to be able to talk all the smack I need to talk when we win from home. So I'm gonna just go ahead and predict the loss and not spend, $1,000 to get out to that stadium and have to watch us lose by 30 there. That's you can't predict the win. I mean, that's the Super Bowl favorite going up against the 4-13 team. I'm
Yeah,
taking a loss here.
I agree. I gotta go lost there. It would be such a great win to get, but I just don't think we're quite there yet.
Agreed.
See us a couple years down the road.
Agreed.
And I think it is a rivalry game, whatever you want to say. So we're probably going to get the Ravens' best shot, you know, and it's going to be a tough one, I think for sure.
And I just think I personally am of the opinion I do think the Ravens take a little bit of a step back next year. When you look at some of the talent that they've lost, you look at Mike McDonald not being there anymore. I think he was the piece to all the success. But if we're taking the bias out of it, the Ravens could take 3 steps back and we could take 3 steps forward, and they're still a better football team than
I
us
think their
based off of
offense is
what
going
we
to be
saw last
dangerous,
year.
though. Their offense
So,
is going to be dangerous.
sure, I'm still concerned about what happens when you lose
That
Mike
running game is
McDonald.
going to be lethal.
Like I said, they could take 3 steps forward, 3 steps back. We could take 3 steps forward, and they're still a better football team at this point in time. So we both have a win there or a loss there. Let's move on. Carolina Panthers, bounce back. I got to win here, Pop. This is probably the
Yeah.
worst team in the NFL. You got to take a
Yeah,
win
I
there, right?
don't know what they're doing down there. Honestly, they're a bit of a mystery
Yeah.
to me. Questionable ownership. I'm definitely going to go win for the boys. I've given them a couple of close losses here. I'm going to go win.
Got it. So at this point, I've got us at 4-3. You've got us at 3-4 through
That's
7 weeks
it.
here. So,
Road
Pop,
to 11-6.
this one for me is big. This is a big game for me. This is revenge game because this is when the wheels just completely
Oof.
came off last season. On Thursday night against Chicago, you got the number one pick, Caleb Williams, Jayden Daniels facing off against each other. I am surprised in the middle of the season that this isn't a primetime game. I think this would have been a Thursday night slot or maybe a Monday night slot or something. I mean, you see throughout the year, you see these kind of crappy primetime games. I think this might have been one that was one of the crappier ones, but I could see them pushing that. It's the number one overall quarterback and the number two overall quarterback. How do you not? I don't know. I'm not mad at it though. 1 o'clock at home. I have a win. What do you have, Pop?
Yeah, I agree. I thought this could have been it would have been a great opening game, but then again, having Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams eight games in, that you've got some experience now. They're going to be
Yeah.
fully into the season, so I think that's a better matchup at that point
Oh,
of the
I
year.
agree. I just think
Um,
it should be a prime time at that point in the year.
I'm cool with it. 1 o'clock. This might be a fun game to go to.
It could be. That's a good option.
Speaking of fun games to go to, but I'll go win as well. I'll get us to 500.
Yeah, that's a good option. I got
I am. This is going to sound crazy, and we'll talk about this some more in the second half of the pod. I'm not convinced we didn't get the better quarterback. Let's just leave it at that. Bears fan, hit me in the comments.
we'll see. Time will tell. I have no
Yeah,
interest in comparing them right now. We got our guy, and I'm behind him 100%. Week 9, New York Giants. Now, this one, we're going to do a little inside baseball here. I thought this was a road game at first. This is a road game.
this is a road game.
I'm so confused. Okay, so my plans are back on. I was thinking about going to New York for Halloween weekend and then hitting this game, and then I thought it was a home game. I got all twisted around. This is a road game. Good stuff. 11. Oh man, 1 o'clock Eastern time. What do you got, Pop?
I just don't think I'm quite ready to go from them sweeping us to us sweeping them. So I'm gonna say we take a loss. It's always tough at Giant Stadium.
I gotta win. I gotta win. I think the MetLife stuff ends with Dan Quinn.
Woo!
I
Six
think,
and three.
and I think this is the point where you start to go, hold on. The Commanders are what? Commanders are 6-3. What the hell's going on over there? And this is the point where the Jayden Daniels narrative kind of starts to spin. We've got a weaker defense against the Bears, a weaker defense against the Giants, a weaker defense against the Panthers. I think we start to kind of find our groove here, and then we head home to face the Pittsburgh Steelers at 1 o'clock, Commanders Field. What do you got, Pop?
Yeah, interesting things happen in Pittsburgh. They're always competitive, but to me, the Steelers are always competitive, but always beatable, at least in recent years. And their quarterback situation is super interesting. We don't know maybe who will be the starter by this point of the season, right? So I'm going to go win. I'm lacking in some wins here. I'm going to go win for the boys. I know it's scary to pick against Steelers, but I kind of got to. I've gone chalk on every other team. I'm going to say this is one that maybe you'd look on paper and say we shouldn't win that we get. I think we'll
I
be a better team week 10 of the season, much better team than week 1. And that's part of my logic here.
So I got similar thought process, opposite result. I got a loss here. I think we will be a better team than Pittsburgh at this point in the year, but I think this is when you look at, man, it's week 10. We started 3 weeks on the road. We haven't had our bye week yet. I think we start running out of a little bit of gas at this point in the year. I got a loss there. I also just think I'm not ready to go ahead and say this team starts 7-3. So we got to start kind of taking lumps. And I think a team like Pittsburgh that's always competitive, always going to play really good defense, always going to make you earn every single snap. I got a win there. Week 11, Thursday Night Football, primetime game, Philadelphia on Amazon Prime. Pop might need a little tech support there to help get that game going. Please, I'll give you a call. But we got the Philadelphia Eagles, man. This is always a big game. It's always a lot of fun. What do you got?
Yeah, Eagles are an interesting team. I think that the wheels could be coming off the cart there with Sirianni, and I also
Yeah,
think that although I really like Jalen Hurts, we're starting to see a bit of cracks there too. I know he was really injured. I like the kid a lot, even though I wish he played for a different team. But I still think on the road, their short turnaround week, it's going to be a battle. We seem to always play them tough, but I'll give the Eagles the edge in this one.
yeah. I got a loss there as well. I think, hey, say what you will, but the Eagle killer Ron Rivera is not in the building anymore. So might be a little bit of an adjustment headed up there. All jokes aside,
Close
I got a lot.
losses.
I got a loss there. I'm not ready to like. As a fan, I want Philly to fall off, but I want to be mindful of. I think the only people pushing this narrative of the Eagles are going to take a huge step back and the wheels are going to come off the cart are Commanders reporters. I don't see national media, I don't see a lot of people around the NFL starting to feel that way. I think it could go that way, but I also think the Eagles could easily come out and win 10, 11 games
When a
next year.
coach loses
Let's
a
roll with
starts to lose a team, I think Sirianni's act is starting to wear a little thin. Just a gut feel,
it. I don't
just
know.
my personal opinion. I love the Italian flag patch he wears on his shirt, but we'll see. Sometimes when things start to slide that way, it's tough to zoom around, head in the other direction. We'll see. They've had a lot of coaches changes. It's been a revolving door in terms of his key assistants. We'll see. But
I don't know. I mean, added Saquon, added the two best corners in the draft. I'm not mad at the Philly situation.
it's
I think they
true.
might get better next
It's
year.
true. If Saquon could stay on the field,
Brought back Gardner Johnson. That was a key piece for them that they'd lost last year.
we'll
Anyway,
do a
week
Philly
12,
breakdown another pod.
week 12, we got the Cowboys. I know. We got to get through this in 30 seconds here. I know. It's not like the people are here for the schedule breakdown. It's the biggest storyline of the year. It's okay. I got it. Week 12, we got the Cowboys, Commanders Field at home, 1 o'clock. What do you got, Pop?
How about them Cowboys? I got us
How about
winning
them
this one.
Cowboys?
I got us
I
winning
got
this
us.
one. Another team I'm starting to lose a bit of confidence in. They didn't do a lot to
Yep.
improve themselves. More and more questions about Dak. We owe them. We owe them. This
Yeah, I
is
got
this
to.
is emotional. This is personal.
Dan Quinn revenge game. You got to imagine this is the team that Dan Quinn was coaching last year when they were picking turkey legs out of the bucket that they planted ahead of time because they knew they were going to score. Um, I got I got a win here. I am way more into the wheels falling off the Cowboys cart narrative than the wheels falling off the Eagles cart. Personally, this is the team that I think is going to disappoint most people in the NFC East. I got a win there, Week 12. Week 13, Tennessee Titans, 1 o'clock, at home again, Commanders Field. Interesting matchup. Interesting matchup here. They've added some veteran wide receivers. Will Levis, a lot of people are really high on him in his second year. Pop's not a believer by the head shake. Pop, you got a win for us? They lost
It's the
Derrick Henry. What do you
Titans.
got?
The Titans lost Derrick Henry. They weren't really good last year. New coach. I just don't think this is a very good team. I think they're similar range of the Panthers. Sorry, I know your buddy works there.
Wow.
I'm going win here.
I couldn't agree less. I got a loss. Pop's got a win. I think this is going to be a situation where you got a young quarterback. You put him in the offense with a young, offensive-minded head coach and Brian Callahan. They've shored up the offensive line there. I like the way this is headed. You want to do a quick
So
tally
week
for the bye week?
13, we're both 7-6. Just to recap,
There
both
you go.
7-6. Week
There you
13.
go. I was headed right there. Week 14 bye week. Everybody gets some ice. Jayden Daniels review some tape, start figuring out what's going on. A little bit of I got a CBD roller for the muscles. Lovely, lovely. If any of the commanders need a recommendation, I got you on that. Let's head into week 15.
Maybe we can run an ad. Hit them up.
If they want to pay us, for sure.
That's right.
For sure. We make you a good price.
That's
I'll
right.
tell you what, we give you the best value for a 500 subscriber podcast you can possibly get. How about that? Let's head in to week 15. New Orleans Saints, 1 o'clock at the Superdome. The Caesars Superdome. Is that new, the Caesars sponsorship? That's wild.
First I heard of it.
New Orleans, what do you think, Pop?
I like a win here, too. I'm a little bit nervous about the way the schedule is going out. But again, I just don't know, don't have a lot of confidence in that Saints team. I do think the Commanders are going to be a team that just gets better and better as the season goes on. So I'll take a W there.
Yeah, I got a W there as well. So that both puts us at 8-6 here, week 15. Just a quick, we like to do vibe checks over here. What's the vibe check out? 8-6, week 15. I mean,
the town's going to be on fire.
Town's going to be on fire. We're predicting a Super Bowl, right? We're taking our odds at plus 1,000 to go get a Super Bowl at this point in the year, right? Got to be going crazy. And I think that vibe comes right back down at home, week 16 against the Eagles. I think we lose this one. What do you think, Pop?
Yeah, I hate predicting a sweep of the Eagles over us, but this probably is more of a loss because I got us at 8-6. I think 8-6 is a little better than I think we're actually going to be at this point in the season, but we're going off the dome here. So I got to bring us back down a notch and take us to 8-7. And I agree. I'll go loss here.
Yeah, I go loss there. I think, like I said, I'm not.
But I think this is a good chance to catch the Eagles because they could be swooning. I'm sticking with my thing. I think it could be a swoon happening by this part of the year.
If your thing happens, I think we sweep the Eagles because I think it's going to start to happen by week 11. We're going to get them on prime time. I just don't.
Could happen.
I don't see it that way. I think the Eagles win 11, 12 games this year. And win.
Come on, Eagles fan. Let's mix it up.
All right. Week 17, we got the Atlanta Falcons at home against Commanders Field. Now,
Will it be Captain Kirk?
Everything's
Will it be Penix Jr.? Who we got at QB?
I heard they're thinking about adding Brock Osweiler, make some competition going. They don't have.
I think Kirk's going to struggle this year. I do. I think he made a football mistake. He made a pocketbook. Great move, but a football mistake. And I think we're going to beat the Falcons.
Yeah, so Pop's got a win here. I got a loss. So at this point, we are 8-8 headed into the last week of the year.
I'm 9-7.
Pop's 9-7. So at this point, we might have clinched a playoff spot. We might not. We got week 18 going into the Cowboys, AT&T Stadium on the road. I think this could very likely be flexed into Sunday night. Whoever wins this game gets into the playoffs. That's what I think. I think this is very possible at this game of the year. Each team I think the Cowboys are floundering. The Commanders hot at the right time of the year, picking it back up. I think this is a win and get in for a wild card for that 7th seed. What do you think, Pop?
I'm going to go loss. A similar logic I use in the second Eagles game. I can't pick us to go 10 wins. It's tough to go out there and play with the Cowboys. Maybe it'll shake out a little different. But to
Yeah,
me, I feel I got 9-8 on paper here. I feel 8-9 would be my prediction if I wasn't going game by game. I'll stick
yeah,
with 9-8 for now, but I'm going to go loss on that one.
yeah. I echo your
Maybe we
exact
back into
thoughts.
playoffs. Maybe we don't.
I got a win there. I think just the way that I've predicted the schedule so far, that's going to be the situation. And I think if the Cowboys are kind of trending in the wrong direction, a lot of questions and narratives about them. Obviously, if at this point in the year we've got 8 wins, something's going right with Jayden Daniels. The team's moving in the right direction. We're excited about that. So at that point, I think Dan Quinn, how is he not going to have the guys ready to run through a brick wall? Hey, this is my old team in their house, division rival. You got to take a win there. You got to take a win there as a fan. So call me crazy. I got
But we're
nine and
both
eight.
9-8. So that's the official Diamond Pop Pod prediction. Nine
Yep,
and eight.
9 and 8. And I think I don't know if that's good enough to get a wild card. I kind of don't care. I think if we finish 9 and 8, regardless of whether or not we get to make it to the playoffs and whatever, or we don't, I kind of don't care. That's my personal
Well, I
opinion.
mean, I think there's a reality, right? Everybody's looking at the Commanders on their schedule and saying that's a winnable game, right?
Yeah, whole rest of the
Everybody
league
that
says
we
that's our
just
win.
talked about is
Yeah,
saying that's a winnable game. Even the Panthers and the who else did I insult? The Titans.
yeah,
Um,
which is
but
crazy.
there are a bunch of winnable games on the schedule. I still feel like it's a 7-8 win season when it's all said and done, more than a 9-win season. But hey, a couple of homers. Why not get excited? I think we should move on to segment two. So unless you got some quick thoughts to wrap up the schedule thing.
No, I'm ready. That's it. I agree. Like I said, I kind of not too concerned about if that results in a wild card or not, because at the end of the day, 9 wins in your first season with a rookie quarterback, in my opinion, this is hitting it out of the park. Best case scenario. I'm happy with 7 wins and some good showings from Jayden. That's where
Yeah,
I'm at. But this is my prediction because I think we have a pretty soft schedule, and I think this staff might have a little bit more juice than people initially expect. Let's move on. Let's get into the OTAs. Pop wants to do a little OTA recap. Quick 5 things from the OTAs and from the schedule. I guess we're doing 5 for Daniels. Is this a new
that's
weekly
it.
thing, Pop? 5 for number 5?
Not every week, but it's a segment. We got a little buy or sell sometimes. 5 things for Jaden Daniels.
I
Keep the
like it.
vibes high.
I like it. So number 1 on our list, Jayden Daniels, first practice with the full squad, perfect attendance. Everybody's there. Energy's high. JD looks good. I'm happy. What do you think, Pop?
Yeah, all reports, that are coming out. I guess the reporters are only there for day one, but all
Yeah.
reports coming out are positive. I think we've, talked on and on about how good JD looks, continues to look good. Um, didn't get like a lot, in terms of highlights that we could see of him throwing. Part of it was he wasn't always with the first team, which is interesting. I'd like to get into that in topic number two a little more as to whether or
Yeah.
not we think that's a good idea or not. But yeah, everything you hear just in terms of footwork, processing, Kingsbury had a press conference, talked about, how impressed he is in terms of how he understands protections, at this stage. So things like that. So by all accounts, you know, we got a good one.
Yep. Yeah, agreed. Number 2, number 0, Marcus Mariota taking first team snaps. How do you feel about that, Pop?
So apparently, Craig Hoffman, this is Craig Hoffman's report, it said he threw 3 or 4 interceptions. So
Yeah.
he's going against the first team. Maybe what they're trying to do is build confidence in that first team defense. Um, Interesting. I hope they don't get too cute with this whole situation about Jayden Daniels having to earn a spot. I personally like what the Bears are doing. They just came straight away and say Caleb's number one. We need to make sure that Jaden's got plenty of time working with the first team, building that rapport with our first team receivers, Terry and the like, Jahan. I don't love it, honestly. I don't love
Yeah.
it. I mean, what do you think that the actual chances of Jaden not being week one starter are.
Not zero. That's why
Yeah,
Marcus Mariota is wearing the number 0 because that's how many games we're going to see him start this year. 0.
I love it.
So
I
I don't.
love it.
I have no interest in that. I don't care. I think it is with Jayden. I think you've got a really high character guy. I'm not worried about upsetting him or not enough work getting put in. I think this is their process. I trust these guys to do what they're going to do. I am all good with how this is going and what the situation is there. I'm chill. I'm
Yeah,
chill.
I guess the logic behind it is a little bit like, let's see what we've got in Jayden for a period of time before we put the weight of that number one first team quarterback on him. Because let's say he's not ready, then you've kind of got to demote him, and that would be a much worse way to go. But I just want to make sure that he's getting that time with
Yeah.
those first team receivers. And they talked about how, which I really like, the fact they were running essentially two scrimmages at the same time. So it was the first team versus the third team, and the second team versus the fourth team. Essentially, is how they described this, right? The reporters described it. But Cliff Kingsbury was overworking with Marcus Mariota's group, right? And Tavita was working with, um, I just hope there's not too much of that. Of course, that was for the reporters. There were practices that happened all week where the reporters weren't there, so we don't know how that was
Yeah, but
divided up. Just hope they don't get too cute with that, right?
Dad, let's break this down here. The headline that we're concerned about is that the quarterback's coach was coaching the quarterback. I mean, come on. I don't care. Davita Pritchard's the quarterback's coach. He should be
Yeah, they
working with
watch
Jayden
film.
Daniels.
They watch film of the practices, afterwards.
I'm
But
not worried about it.
again, I just let's not get too cute with this thing. We all know JD is the guy. We're going to need to kind of just get there sooner than later, I think.
I'm not worried about it. Every one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL right now, the plan was not for them to start week 1. So if that eventually becomes what happens with Jayden Daniels, I also don't care. This long term play
I
here.
might need you to do the post game pods on your own if Marcus Mariota's starting,
Oh,
not because of injury.
they're gonna be 8-minute podcasts. So it's cool. Like we'll cruise. That's why I'm happy is I can get some of my Sunday back.
I
And
mean,
Marcus
what would this
Mariota
schedule
start.
prediction have looked like if we assumed he's the
Oh,
starter?
4-13, and we're
Oh
gonna
my
go get the
gosh!
best tackle in the draft next year, and then we're gonna win the
I
Super
mean,
Bowl
he's
the year
throwing
after.
pickles in his first OTAs like it's his job. It's
Look,
crazy.
man, I'm not worried about it. Number 3, early depth chart surprises
Some
from
interesting stuff
OTAs.
here.
Yeah, some interesting stuff for sure. Frankie Louvu, Bobby Wagner, and Jordan McGee all starting ahead of Jamin Davis. And then you've got Ben St. Juste, Michael Davis, and Mike Sanistro starting above Emmanuel Forbes. You also have Quan Martin and Jeremy Chin at safety ahead of Derek Forrest. Go ahead with your impressions first, Pop.
Yeah,
Obviously, the headlines are going to be Davis and Forbes, right?
the most surprising thing to me is Jamin Davis. The Forbes thing I kind of get, and I'll
Yeah.
explain why in a minute. But yeah, Jamin Davis not being with the first team. Now, they did say he was playing a lot of middle linebacker with the second team, which was interesting as well, because that's opposite of what where we think he should be playing. But that was where he was drafted to play. So maybe they're had a different evaluation of him, or maybe they feel like Ron Rivera and crew gave up on that too soon. But that one's interesting, right? It's surprising, to me. But I also think that one might be telling. Now, granted, proceed with caution. This is a very first practice in an OTA. By no means is this the starting group, but it is an indicator in my mind, right? I mean, you think as a player getting called out, you've played soccer, I've played soccer, get called out with that starting team, whether it's the first practice or the 10th, there's a certain feeling that goes with that.
Oh
There's a
yeah.
certain
You're
confidence that
walking
goes
on
with that.
you're
And if you're
walking
not
on
called
air.
out with the first team, it means something. So I
Yeah.
think with Jamin, that's a telling thing, because it was a fourth year vet. This is not a new rookie anymore, right? So interesting, but I think it also talks about how high they are on Jordan McGee. I mean, no surprise that Bobby Wagner Aluvu are starting, right?
Yeah,
But Jordan McGee getting in there, he's one to watch, I think.
for sure. Here's my Jordan McGee take. Why wouldn't you play him ahead of Davis? Davis has been terrible. Davis has been awful. And Davis is gone after this year. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be, of all the shocking cuts that could be made, I think that would be the least shocking of all the shocking ones. It would still be shocking. It's still in that shocking category. But if he got cut, I wouldn't be stunned or traded or something like that. I'm not I'm out on Jamin Davis. I don't care. He's athletic and he, was a high character guy, and that's all that ever mattered to Ron Rivera. So that's why he got drafted. But I don't care about Jamin Davis. So
I'm
I'm
bringing the
I'm just
heat. I'm
I'm
bringing
over
the
that.
heat. I love
I'm
it.
over that, man. I mean, what is the likelihood Jamin Davis is with the team next year? Next
It's
to zero,
not
right?
very likely.
Next, I mean, he's going to have to come out and play like the second coming of Brian Urlacher. Somebody's going to have to get hurt. He's going to have to start, and he's going to have to look
Yeah,
like the best player in the NFL. So,
he's
if,
kind of a poster child for somebody that gets cut or
exactly.
goes to free agency after their fourth season,
They
right?
didn't pick up his option, right? So, if we're looking at building this thing in the long term, of course McGee should get snaps. I'd
Now,
rather McGee get snaps.
now on the opposite side, I like the move with Emmanuel Forbes. I
I love
feel
that
like
too. Yeah.
take the pressure off of him a little bit, right? Let him sit behind these other guys. Michael Davis is a very good vet. He's a guy that has played very, very well in certain spurts. 1 year contract. But let's take the heat a little bit off of Emmanuel Forbes. Let's let him work. Let's let him learn. Maybe he ends up being the starter. I mean, he was, kind of the presumed starter I've seen on some depth charts. But I think I kind of like that one. I kind of like the fact that let him do what he should have probably done last year, start on the second team, and then work his way in the first team snaps. And there's going to be a bit of a rotation that happens there. I haven't given up on Emmanuel Forbes by any means yet, but that was a pretty rough year one. So I like this move. I like the idea of him starting out with the second team. How about you, son?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not. I feel the same way about Emmanuel Forbes. I feel about Jamin Davis at this point. The only difference is Forbes has 3 years left, so you genuinely could develop this kid into something. You have enough time, right?
Apparently,
So
they
when,
liked him. Dan
yeah,
Quinn and company really liked him coming in the draft. So
yep.
that always plays a little bit of part
And
in these
I'm
situations.
because you have St. Juice. The headline here for me is Benjamin St. Juice CB1. That's the headline for me because that's a guy I tweeted about it to a couple of our peers a few days ago. I think Benjamin St. Juice is the most talented corner on this roster, and I think he actually has potential to be a very good cornerback in the NFL. I really loved what I saw from him in 2022 after we took William Jackson out and him playing on the outside, and when he was playing in an actual scheme, not in a scheme ran by a high school football coach, which was literally who was coaching him last year. So I think if you want to look for a sneaky guy to take a step forward this year, I like Benjamin St. Juste. And the weirdest thing for me out of all of this is Quan Martin, free safety, Jeremy Chin, strong safety, Derek Forrest on the bench. That weirds me out. I don't like that.
Well, but I also think that, you've got nickel packages here, right? So I think that if you
Sure.
look at these, four guys we talked about at cornerback and these three guys we talked about at safety, there's going to be times or some combination of six of those guys are going to be on the field at one time.
Yeah.
So, and I think Jeremy Chin's someone that's shown they could drop down and almost be in that hybrid linebacker position. Another guy that's been talked about too is the name's escaping me, but the safety that we drafted, um,
Oh yeah, the kid out
that
of Washington, right?
yeah, that he's gotten some early buzz. I would say, sorry, Dominique Washington. They used to call you Dominique at school, and they would
Yeah.
mispronounce your name. So I should be
Dominique
able to
Hampton.
remember
Yep.
that. But Dominic Hampton's another one of those hybrid safety linebacker types like Chin. So I just don't. I wouldn't be alarmed by that. What I like about it is Quan Martin definitely was surging towards the end of last season. I think potentially this is a kid that is super talented. It might be one that Ron Rivera and company actually got right. So I like the Quan Martin getting a strong look from this new coaching staff part of
Yeah.
that equation.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I think Quan's a great player. So I do like that part of the equation. I just had, for me, I had Quan playing strong, Derek playing free, and then Jeremy Chin in those nickel packages playing that Buffalo nickel kind of situation. However, maybe they're trying to get Jeremy Chin some snaps at strong so that they can disguise. I know that's a big thing for them. They want for you to look at the personnel on the field and have no idea what's going on. So I think
There's a
that's a
reason
big
it's
part of what
called the
they're trying to
Dami
do.
scouting report, not the Pop scouting report, because that's strong, son. I could never,
Yeah,
I could never spin that out. So
I think that's what I got there. That's way too much time on this DB group. Jayden
nice.
Daniels versus Caleb Williams. There's the good stuff right
Number
there. Week
4 out of
8.
5.
Is that the most exciting matchup of this season?
I think without a doubt. The two of them going up, Caleb coming home. So the fact that it's a home game,
Yeah,
for the
that's big too.
Commanders, and
That's a
he's
good
coming
point.
home to play that probably the one I got circled on the calendar. Although every time we seem to play the Bears at home ends up being a disaster. Remember, we went to that Monday night game that was absolutely horrific.
Case Keenum
The
came
whole
out,
experience was
interception,
pretty
interception,
good up
interception.
until when the game started. Yeah, Case Keenum. Oh, God bless his soul. Uh, but I think that's just so exciting. Definitely
I
got
got
that one
something for you,
circled
Pop.
on the schedule.
I got something for you. I disagree. I actually think Dallas is the most exciting for me. Dallas, yeah, at FedEx, Dan Quinn
We
getting
can
to play
agree
his
to
whole team.
disagree. That's
Agree
what
to
the pod's
disagree.
all about.
I got something for you, Pop. Would you rather see?
Who do you think? Tell us in the comments.
Let us know in the comments what you think is the most exciting game on the schedule for sure. And if you're watching this on the clip, head back to that schedule release podcast. Check out the whole thing. Pop, who would you rather see at quarterback, Case Keenum or Marcus Mariota?
Case Keenum, Case Keenum with a sore Achilles, I'll take all day over Marcus Mariota.
Oh man, I've never seen Case Keenum and one of our neighbors in a room together at the same time. That's all I'm saying. I got I got
If you
I
know,
got
you
Marcus
know.
Mariota in there. If you know, you know. Number 5,
But
hype
I
meter.
disagree. I think the Dallas take is too easy. It's too easy. Dallas is a big game every year. The matchup, the marquee matchup of this season is the Bears, Caleb Williams. Number
I'm gonna
1 against number 2.
I'm gonna say something a little bit 1067 the fan hot takey here. Is
What are
is
you
it
dissing our future employers for?
is it is Dallas the biggest? I'm not dissing them. I'm dissing someone. Is Dallas the biggest game? Has it been the biggest game? We get blown out by Dallas every year for the last
That's what
4 or 5 years.
you're always going to be hyped about Dallas.
To be honest with you, for me, the last couple of years, I've just been wanting to get it over with. So that's hot take for
It's
me.
going to change. Dan
I
Quinn
think
and the boys are going to change that.
what I was about to say. I think Dan Quinn coming to DC adds some fuel to that fire that has been dwindling. My God, we're about to do an hour. What's the hype meter on the Commanders for the 2024 season, Pop? What do you like?
Well, we talked about it earlier. I mean, in a scale of 1 to 10, I would say I'm at a 7. But 9 wins would indicate something completely different.
Yeah,
Like I said, I'm at about a 7. I still have a bit of wait and see. I love the direction that this team is headed in. I just don't know if it's a 2 or 3 year deal. I don't know about that first year turnaround. There's still a lot of question marks. Ironically enough, similar to what we talked about last year, except it's different because we've got a whole new regime. And really, this is the first true year of Josh Harris ownership and Adam Peters. Of
yeah,
course, it's his first year, so I think it's you get to 6, 7, 8 wins, you can feel pretty good about that because you're turning a corner and rising versus falling off a cliff.
yeah,
But I think there's just still a lot of question marks that I just have to wait and see. They could turn out great. Jeremy Chin could turn out great. He could also be a dud. Not picking on Jeremy Chin. I like the kid. I think it's more likely really good than not. But just as an example, some of those free agents, first year guys, offensive line, maybe it'll work out. Maybe Wiley in year two. Some people got good film on him, but anyway, I could go on and on. We need to wrap, but I think it's a 7 for me. What about you?
10.
You're 10
10.
on a 10 on
Yeah.
hype?
10 out of 10 on
Okay.
hype. I'm ready to roll, man. And it's not because I expect this team to go win the Super Bowl. It's just about Pop. Have we discussed anything other than football this whole offseason?
That is great.
Have we got into legal litigations? Have we got into name changes? It was the feather
That's
incident,
still a
but
thing. We
for the
don't bring it
most
up,
part,
but it's still a
for the
thing.
most for the most part, all we got to talk about is football. We got a young rookie quarterback who I believe is the most talented player to play that position since I've been alive in this town. We've got a new head coach looking for redemption, second chance. I'm all fired up about Dan Quinn. We've got a great offensive coordinator. We've got a great defensive coordinator. Joe Wood Jr. does not get enough shine in this whole conversation. We've got a great defensive coordinator. I don't see how you could be anything other than I think 7 Pop is weak. I think we gotta like get you. I don't know. It's not enough
I'm at a
coffee.
7.
We gotta get you an extra. I know you had some early morning obligations this morning. I think got to get you some extra espresso or something. I'm at a 10. I'm hyped. I'm ready for the season to go. And that's not because I think we're going to win every game and go to the
I
Super Bowl.
got you.
I
I
just can't wait
understand.
to see what we got here. This
Your
is so
level of
exciting.
excitement.
Yep. So
Buy
I'm at
your
a
Super
10.
Bowl tickets, people.
I'm at a 10. It won't be the Commanders. You see the Chiefs do it again. I'm at a 10. We got so much content coming for you guys about this team. Got a lot of content we just finished. I got a lot of content to go edit. Let's wrap this thing up without further ado. I've been Dom.
This is Pop.
Thanks for a great week, everybody.